Drona said to Duryodhana, I wouldn't be surprised if you asked me to kill Dharmaraja, but why do you want me to capture him alive instead of killing him? Duryodhana replied, if Dharmaraja is killed, then Krishna, Arjuna and Bhima would destroy all the Kauravas in a single day, something that must never happen. But if Dharmaraja is captured, he himself, being a king in captivity, will have to admit defeat. Once he says, I have lost, the other Pandavas, who obey him completely, will also have to accept defeat. Then they will all live at my feet as slaves for the rest of their lives. That's exactly what I want. Hearing Duryodhana's words, Dronacharya was astonished. Very well, I have already given you my word, so I shall keep it, he said, and left. Dawn arrived, and the 11th day of the war began. Drona formed the Shakata Vyuha, the cart formation, while the Pandavas formed the Krauncha Vyuha, the heron formation. Everyone fought with terrible ferocity. Warriors of equal might clashed on both sides. Shalya confronted Bhima in battle. On the Pandava side, one warrior fought even more impressively than Arjuna, Abhimanyu. Meanwhile, on the Kaurava side, there was another warrior fighting like a supreme hero, Ashwathama. On that battlefield, nobody fell behind. By the end of the day's battle, both Pandavas and Kauravas had fought as equals. Neither side had the upper hand, nor was anyone weaker. That same day, Duryodhana went to see Drona. Acharya, he said, tomorrow the Trigartas will provoke Arjuna and lead him away, far from Dharmaraja. When I give you the signal, go and capture Dharmaraja. Drona replied, if you succeed in luring Arjuna away, I shall capture Dharmaraja single-handed. But Arjuna learned of this plan through his spies. Tomorrow, under any circumstance, I must protect my elder brother, Arjuna vowed. That night passed as both sides worked on their battle strategies. When the 12th day's battle began, Arjuna stayed right beside Dharmaraja, determined not to let anyone approach him. Just then, the Trigarta army arrived near Arjuna. One of them stepped forward, mocking Arjuna. Hey, Arjuna, is your dear Dharmaraja some little toddler that you must cling to him like that? He taunted, laughing. Suddenly, his laughter stopped, for Arjuna's arrow had pierced straight into the man's mouth. Another warrior from the Trigartas cried out, Arjuna, why not pick up your elder brother and go feed him some milk? The next instant, that man's head was sent flying. Though they were being killed one by one, the Trigartas kept coming, hurling insults to enrage Arjuna. Even though Arjuna was angered, he did not lose control. However, Dharmaraja, standing beside him, was boiling with rage. How can you remain silent, Arjuna, when they insult you so viciously? Dharmaraja demanded. Go now, annihilate them. But Arjuna responded, Brother, I will not leave you alone. Dharmaraja commanded, Arjuna, go, destroy every single Trigarta so that none remain. That is my order. Arjuna had no choice but to obey. Very well, my lord, he said, but you must promise me something. I am leaving Singasena, Vyaghadatta, and above all this great hero Satyajit to guard you. If Drona comes and kills these three, you must not fight him. Instead, flee and save your life without looking back. Give me your word. Dharmaraja replied, if what you say comes to pass, I shall do exactly as you ask. Though he disliked leaving his brother's side, Arjuna departed to finish off the Trigartas in obedience to Dharmaraja's command. The Trigartas, however, fled so swiftly that Arjuna had to chase them far away from Dharmaraja. Now, Arjuna was so far off battling the Trigartas that he was no longer even visible to Dharmaraja. Seizing this opportunity, Duryodhana informed Drona that Arjuna was away from Dharmaraja. Just watch, Drona declared. I shall drag Dharmaraja by his hair, throw him at your feet, and make him bow down to you. And with his army, Drona advanced toward Dharmaraja. Though Arjuna had appointed Vyaghadatta, Singasena, and especially the mighty Satyajit as Dharmaraja's guards, Drona's approach did not go unnoticed. Vyaghadatta and Singasena tried firing arrows at Drona, but not a single arrow could reach him. 2 arrows released by Drona shot straight into their hearts, killing them on the spot. Next, Satyajit took the field. He was an extraordinary hero, yet even his prowess was no match for Drona. He managed to hold Drona off only for a short while. Ha! How long do you think you can last before me? Drona sneered, as he set an arrow shaped like a half moon and fired it at Satyajit. That arrow struck Satyajit's neck and beheaded him. Friends, have you heard someone say that reading a single, most interesting story can transform an entire life? Would you believe that simply reading that story to your children would instill in them all the values they need in life? Or that, for any problem you face now or in the future, you could find a solution in just one story? Yes, it's possible. Only through the greatest epic ever told in the history of mankind, the Mahabharata. This story is 100 times more magnificent than any super hit movie. It's a challenge. The full Mahabharata story, written in Vikramaditya's words, is available in 2 volumes, in both book and ebook formats, on Amazon and 43 other online stores. It is available worldwide in 54 languages. I've provided the links in the video description below. Order now, because this is not just a book, it's a whole library of wisdom for your life. Now, Dharmaraja realized what was happening. I must do as Arjuna warned, he thought. If Satyajit was indeed killed, he was supposed to run without turning back. However, Dharmaraja disliked the idea of fleeing like a coward, so he readied his bow to fight Drona. Yet, he couldn't even release an arrow. Drona broke Dharmaraja's bow with his shafts before Dharmaraja could shoot. Dharmaraja discarded that bow and picked up another. Immediately, Drona shattered that bow as well. Only then did Dharmaraja understand why Arjuna had pleaded with him to run. Turning his chariot, Dharmaraja fled from Drona. But Drona did not give him a chance to escape. He released a weapon that destroyed one of Dharmaraja's chariot wheels. With no other option, Dharmaraja leaped to the ground and ran for his life across the battlefield. All around him, not a single warrior came to his aid. Anyone who tried was met by a rain of arrows from Drona. Everyone watched in silence, with deep pity, as Dharmaraja ran for dear life. Breathing heavily, nearly unable to run any farther, Dharmaraja glanced behind him. Drona's chariot was now close, only about 300 feet away. Everyone prayed silently. Only God can save Dharmaraja now. All of a sudden, a chariot sped in from nowhere and halted between Dharmaraja and Drona. The chariot came with such force that Drona's horses reared up in fright and refused to move forward. The heavy snorting from the oncoming chariot's horses made Drona's own horses step back. Who was driving that chariot? The onlookers realized it was Lord Sri Krishna himself, acting as the charioteer. And on that chariot stood the greatest warrior of the Pandava army, son of Indra, unmatched in martial arts, the disciple of Dronacharya, Arjuna. The moment the Pandava troops saw Arjuna, they roared in one voice, "Hey!" Up till then, Drona had not tasted fear. But now, his heart thundered in his chest. Arjuna did not move or speak. He simply stared at Drona. In Drona's eyes, Arjuna had always shown respect, fear, or reverence. But now those eyes were lit with a fiery anger directed at him. Seeing that furious glare, Drona's heart began to quiver. He realized, today might be my end. Slowly, he muttered to his charioteer, "Turn the chariot around." "What, Acharya? I cannot hear you," the charioteer asked, turning his head. Just then, Arjuna picked up his Gandiva bow and aimed at Drona. Drona shouted, "Save my life! Turn the chariot around right now!" The driver spun the chariot about and fled at high speed. Never before had a chariot raced so fast across the battlefield. Krishna pursued Drona's chariot, while Arjuna unleashed a storm of arrows. Drona, unable to fire even a single arrow in return, stayed crouched in his chariot, covering his head with his hands to avoid getting hit. Until that moment, everyone had assumed Dharmaraja was finished, but now they believed Drona is the one who's finished. Friends, the next episode takes this story to yet another level. Don't miss it. We'll meet again next Saturday at the same time. Meanwhile, order your copy of my Mahabharata book right now. Links are given in the video description below. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so immediately. Till then, take care. Bye.